Now, now there's one other thing I wanted to talk about, and we already did our thing about the digital edition potentially being dangerous. So, the other thing that I wanted to talk about still has to do with the PS5. It has to do with what they're offering on it now. Because now that we saw that last showcase, we saw that a couple of the major games that were going to be released on the PS5, some of them launch titles, are no longer PS5 exclusive. Three games in particular. Two of them are a launch day, and then one is yet to be announced a proper date. The two launch titles being Spider-Man Miles Morales, of course, and Sackboy Big Adventure. And then the to be announced one would be obviously Horizon Forbidden West. There's probably more. We just maybe not don't know about them yet, or who knows. But both. I mean, let's take Sackboy out of the equation because let's be honest, that's more of a family game. I mean, some people will still enjoy, but if we're talking the hardcore, we're looking at Spider-Man Horizon, right? Those two games are now going to be PS4 and PS5. And I saw a lot of people very upset about it. And I kind of take both sides on that. I get it in both ways because now you know that both Spider-Man and Horizon are being made for multiple consoles, which usually means that they're not going to use the full power of the higher tech console. It's not going to be using the PS5 to the best of its ability. On the other hand, if you're somebody who can't afford to spend that kind of money right now, or has a little bit of patience, this is really easy news for you now because it makes that decision even easier. I don't have to rush now because the PS5 for me was starting to become like, before I even boycotted it for June just because of how upset I was with the fact they weren't giving any information out, I kind of was in the headspace anyway that I was not going to touch this thing until I had an idea when Horizon was coming out. Now that Horizon is only going to be, or sorry, not Horizon is only going to be, Horizon is going to be on both PS4 and PS5, that makes my decision even easier. I don't have to rush it now. I can really take my time with this. I can wait 12 to 24 months if I really want to. I don't know if I go more than 2 years, just because at that point it's like, what did I get this 4K TV for then? I bought a 4K TV because there was a great deal for one back in the summer, and I'm just like, I have to do it. I have to. And now I don't want to be sitting here for 2 years being like, well, what the hell was the point of getting it when I'm not using it on anything? There is that. So I do want to at least not wait too long. But at the same time, when you don't have these major games that are only on one system, it does make it a little bit easier to go, you know what? I can wait a couple more months. Maybe a good deal comes out, or maybe a cool package comes in. Like maybe a cool design for the console comes in, because I know not everybody seems to like the black and white design. Maybe something cool comes in. Maybe that happens. Who knows? What's Black Friday going to be like next year? There's a lot of unanswered questions, and that's the beauty of this current situation, is that it offers you as a consumer the chance to make a decision. You can think, do I just want to get this thing now and get it over with, or do I want to wait? Maybe I can find a better deal. Maybe I can get a better sense of the library. I mean, obviously, the VCR podcast, Jen and Chris there, he's got a digital version pre-ordered. So I can even look through him for the next 6 to 12 months and go, okay, well, how's the UI going? How are they patching things along? How's the store looking? How are these, like, what's the library starting to look like in terms of like both indie and AAA? Like what's coming out, what's coming soon? That really gives me an opportunity to really step back and go, okay, what would be the right decision to make, and not the act first, shoot late, or like, just kind of going a little bit quickly and being a little overzealous about it. On the flip side, like I said, I really understand that people are kind of thinking like, shit, Spider-Man and Horizon might not be nearly as amazing as we thought they would be, because now they're going to be pigeonholed a little bit because they have to make the game work with an older system now. Now, granted, the loading times are still going to be fantastic, and that's what I'm kind of thinking about first, because if the loading times are quicker, then really that's the whole core of this system, right? That's the biggest thing. It's never been the graphics, it's never been the gameplay in this case. Like, this generation is purely going to be focused, and we're going to remember this generation for the absolute upgrade in loading times, in in the lack of pop-in and like textures, the fact that everything will run so smoothly on that console. Does it mean that it might not be as perfectly textured as it could be? Then maybe. But is it really that big a deal? I don't know. I really don't. It could be in very few cases, but I think more often than not, what's going to make a big deal is you're going to play Spider-Man on PS4, or I'm going to play Cyberpunk on PS4, for example, and then, you know, however long down the road, because my plan is when Cyberpunk comes out, I'm going to play one path, play that in full on PS4. By the time I get a PS5, I'll probably boot up Cyberpunk again because the upgraded edition will be on there for free. And what I will do at that point is play it again on a different path. And that will probably be how I understand the difference between what a PS4 game of that, or a PS4 version of that game is going to be, and then a PS5 version. Because obviously the loading times will be better. The graphic textures are going to load faster, so you're not going to be watching like things popping in the distance. You're going to have better field of view. You're going to be able to see like a further distance of stuff. Like there's a lot. So I've seen some people just, I don't know, I guess maybe they're just mad because something gets promised and then it's not anymore. I don't know, man. Like that's one of those things where it's like, are we getting a little too like butthurt just because we're still mad about the pre-order situation, right? I don't think that a game coming out for two consoles in this specific generation is going to make that much of a difference, because the only real thing that's changing in this generation, yeah, there's going to be 4K graphics, but the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X was already doing that, sort of. It's 60 frames, and it's, you know, the faster loading times. That's the two big things. It's the better frame rate, and it's the better loading times. That's really what we're looking at. So the game itself will be marginally graphically better, probably a lot better, actually, than we're giving credit for. But the core stuff is going to be there, and you're going to notice it very well between the two. And if you're thinking that you're going to get such an inferior version just because they're making it for several consoles, I don't know about that. Because, I mean, I have a feeling that if they had put, say, Demon's Souls Remake as well on PS4, the PS5 thing that we saw, the PS5 trailer that we saw in the showcase would be just as good. It would not change anything. The game would look as amazing as it does on PS5. It has more to do with the architecture of the system than it ever does the graphics card at this point. So whatever people think is going to change about it, I really don't believe it's going to affect that much. So I get it, sort of, but realistically, like, let's kind of chill a little bit, you know? Everything's going to be fine. Spider-Man's not going to be that affected. Horizon is not going to be that affected. Let's just kind of take it easy. I think everything will be fine in the end.